Welcome back, everyone. For the third week in a row, the Lakers have yet to make a move, neither a trade nor a free agent signing, though that does not mean they won't eventually make one. I know it might feel that way at this point, but they continue to monitor the open market, and well, many of the same names keep being brought up, with that being the case once again today. According to Brian Lewis of the New York Post, the Lakers are currently one of 3 teams that have interest in trading for Cam Johnson, with the other 2 being the Sacramento Kings and Orlando Magic. And yes, you would be correct if you thought that he had been linked to their team before, with Cam having been linked to them by Matt Moore of Action Network last month, along with Brett Siegel of Clutch Points only a few days ago, really hinting at their interest in him. And in my opinion, it's really not that shocking, with very little, if any, remaining 3-and-D talent in free agency. Although the majority of the high-profile trade targets being gone, Cam Johnson might very well be their best option. After all, the Brooklyn Nets have officially blown their team up, and it probably won't be long before they trade him, along with Dorian Finney-Smith as well, yet another wing player that's been linked to their team. But again, it clearly does make sense for them to go after Cam Johnson, and especially from a fit standpoint. Though how about a financial one, along with what it would take to get him? And if not him, would Bruce Brown Jr. be a better option, who has now been linked to their team once again as well? And we'll break it all down. But before we get too far into it, if you want to stay up to date with everything Lakers throughout the offseason, then don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell to never miss out when I upload a video. But without further ado, let's dive right into it. And we'll begin by talking about Cam Johnson, who is currently 28 years old in the prime of his career, which would fit right in with the Lakers' win now mentality. And not only that, but Cam has played plenty of meaningful basketball, aka during the postseason, having already appeared in 38 total playoff games since entering the league in 2019, to which he has performed very well in too, putting up over 10 points per game while shooting nearly 42% from 3. Pretty damn impressive, and not to mention basically being a 50-40-90 player during that time period as well. In my opinion, that alone is an indicator of his ability to perform when it matters most, which you obviously want if you're looking to trade for him, and I think the Lakers should think about doing it. I mentioned it before and I know that I will again, but they simply have too many one-way players, and especially with their bigger wings. Between LeBron, Vanderbilt, Hachimura, and even Cam Reddish, you can argue that they are all one-way players, primarily contributing on either offense or defense, but not really at both at above average rate, and especially on a regular basis. However, that would not be the case for Cam Johnson, who not only can be a productive player on offense, but also one on defense. I mean, maybe not to the level of Jared Vanderbilt on defense, but he definitely can be a good to even great perimeter defender, something that Rui Hachimura cannot do. And simply put, that would do wonders to their team, and especially their big wing depth. Between LeBron needing a good wing defender next to him in their lineup, along with one that needs to be able to fill a catch and shoot type role on offense, then I'm not sure how you could do much better than Cam Johnson, who literally fits that description perfectly. I mean, I know it might sound fun to put a 20 point per game scoring option with LeBron and AD, but that's really not what they need around them. At the end of the day, they are going to dominate time of possession, with everyone else simply filling an off-ball role while they do it, which is well over half the time by the way, and especially during the fourth quarter. And keeping that in mind here, they would really benefit from having him in their lineup. LeBron, AD, and even D'Lo could be as ball dominant as they want to be, and it won't affect him. In fact, it would actually benefit him. Unlike many other 12 to 15 point per game scoring threats, nearly all of Cam's offense comes from him playing off the ball, with a majority of that coming from his 3-point shooting. Whether it's with him catch and shooting, doing some movement shooting, or even with him making a backdoor cut, the guy knows how to get open around the 3-point line. And after losing Taurean Prince, that could be really helpful. I mean, there's no telling what might happen with D'Angelo Russell. Will they keep him, or will they trade him? And without those two, they have very little reliable 3-point shooting, let alone anything close to a movement shooter. Again, a true 3-and-D wing would be a tremendous addition to their rotation. They arguably don't even have one right now. Maybe Max Christie if you want to make that argument, and don't get me wrong, I do believe in him, but he is nowhere near as proven compared to Cam. And with that being said, what should they be willing to give up for him? Well, for one, they would need to match his salary through a trade, and that would be about $23 million worth of money to put together, meaning they would need to deal at least one of D'Angelo Russell or Rui Hachimura. I think it might be worth it, but that's not all it would take. They would then need to include a little more salary filler with them, and that would include a contract like Jalen Hood-Schifino, who I really don't like trading as simply salary filler to begin with, and then including a minimum contract with him. In my opinion, there would still be a pretty good argument to do it, but that would change if Brooklyn would demand a first round draft pick. I like Cam Johnson, but I don't think I'd be willing to trade one of Hachimura or D'Lo and a first round draft pick for him alone. Though the benefit here would be with Cam having a more valuable contract compared to either of them, along with simply being a better fit. And that would make me feel comfortable about trading them depending on the draft compensation it would take. But purely to reiterate, I would take Cam Johnson over D'Lo or Hachimura from a fit standpoint. When it really comes down to it, he's a better fit with LeBron and Anthony Davis than they are. They all fit fairly well offensively, but unlike them, Cam won't get played off the court during the fourth quarter on defense, and then has zero problem filling an off-ball role on offense. But what if the price would be too high for him? Would they have any better luck with Bruce Brown Jr.? And while I can neither confirm nor deny that, I really do doubt it. For one, they have a nearly identical salary, meaning we would once again be looking at giving up a similar trade package. Now, maybe not as much draft compensation, though I think we all know about Masai Ujiri when it comes to making trades, but I think it will be pretty close, and that to me would not make it worth it. I like Bruce Brown, but he is the inferior trade target here in my opinion, both from a fit and overall player standpoint as well. I would give him the edge on defense, albeit not a big one, but Cam is a much more effective offensive player, and especially in the role that they would need him to fill, which obviously is pretty important. With Cam, we're talking about a 39 career 3-point shooter on over 5 attempts per game. And that meanwhile with Bruce Brown, he is not even a 34% shooter on under 2 attempts per game. Not even a competition. And again, any role player that will be sharing the court with LeBron and Anthony Davis has to be effective from 3. And not with them simply knocking down the occasional 3-point shot, but with them actually being viewed as a 3-point shooting threat. And between the two of them, Cam is the only one that you can rely on to be viewed that way. Now, it would be completely different if Cam was a bad defender, but that's simply not the case. Maybe if he were, I'd take Bruce Brown over him, but again, that does not happen to be true, and neither does Bruce Brown being a good 3-point shooter. But to wrap everything up here though, I think that Cam Johnson would be a good trade target for the purple and gold. Though like pretty much every other trade target that we have ever talked about, it will ultimately come down to price, as they cannot afford to overpay here in my opinion. Don't get me wrong, Cam is a great role player, but he would not be a gigantic upgrade over D'Lo or Hachimura. I think he would be one, but not a huge one. And that would come down to his fit, not with him putting up more points per game than either of them, and I think we tend to forget about the value of that too. But with all of that being said, what do you guys think? How do you feel about Cam Johnson, or maybe even Bruce Brown as a potential trade target for the Lakers? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. That will do it for this video though. Big thank you to those of you who took the time to watch until the end of this video, and until the end of all of my videos in general. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and hit that notification bell to never miss out when I upload a video. But as always, thank you for watching and have a great day.